Okay, so wow, the energy has been interrupted for me to film this a few times now, and I'm just going to keep going, hopefully, no matter what interrupts me. Um, so, yeah, okay, your message today has some explanation first. So, I woke up this morning and um, immediately into my mind, I'm thinking thought, um, thinking about thought, thinking about um, the the significance of it, and then the name Erin came in to my mind, Erin, and I'm thinking, what is that name? Is this? I started looking up famous scientists because I thought that the name Erin came to me. It must be somebody big in some type of science, right? Like quantum physics, something. Anyway, I ended up remembering she was this lady who in 2019, you may have heard of her. Her name is Erin Valenti. She died at age 33, right? 33. She was a CEO of a very successful like Silicon Valley tech company, and so extremely smart, extremely brilliant mind. She had no history of mental illness. She had no history of substance abuse, and yet one day she makes this tweet, even after like just attending a conference. You also like everything seemed kind of, everything was like normal to everyone. And then she makes this tweet, but she calls her parents too, and says the same thing. She says it's all a game, we're in the matrix. No, she says it's all a game, this is a thought experiment, and we are living in the matrix. That's what she leaves this earth with, that kind of quote. So that's why she stuck around in my mind for so long. I was like, this spirit knows something that we're supposed to find out, or we're supposed to know about, or we're supposed to think about. That's just what kept coming through. So I put on 963 hertz to, channel this girl. So what's interesting about that being the last tweet that she ever said, the last thing she ever said, she was found in a car. It had been 4 days in her rental car. And the cause of death was it said natural cause of death due to a manic episode. Okay, normally people are diagnosed first for them to be able to say, well, especially at 30s, in your, like if you're 33, I would think something would have popped out, especially like bipolar, some sort of thing. I would think it would have even shown its face. Even schizophrenia around 21, so this age to me, there's something about her death that really let me know that this person she had an idea of what was going on, what was the real makeup of this reality. Of course, she was diving into simulation theory, which is a way we can explain things in a very almost abstract sense with quantum physics, the observer effect. There's different things, but she died of a manic episode. There was no drugs in her system, nothing, and she just was found dead. So the information coming through from her without any cards was that when she found out some information, or was going to share information with people, with, I believe she would call it the collective, because I think there's a significance in a belief that we are collective beings. Okay, so if it's from a one whole, then we're all split up, right? So it's actually the collective nature, like she's talking about, brings in the witness and allows for the observer effect. And there was some line of thought that she was going down where she was explaining the understanding by certain people that this is about how to control. People don't realize how their thoughts control reality or code reality on a daily basis. From the time you wake up to the time you sleep, your thoughts are like writing script, essentially. And there were certain people that, I guess maybe these are groups, maybe these are bloodlines, I don't know. But there were certain people, and that's, by the way, this is the information she's telling me today during my meditation with her. But says that there were people that there are people that know that the power of what comes before the observer effect even gets thought about. There's thought, and then there's thought forms, and that creates this reality. She's telling me it creates it. So the control has been to figure out, if we experiment with people's beliefs and then we think we know what they're going to be thinking throughout the day. We think we're going to know what everyone's thinking, therefore we're all going to end up creating this collective dream that's actually structured and manufactured, tried to control. They have to experiment on different things because, of course, they're not the, I think it's because they're not the Most High Creator. So what they do is manufactured and false and viewed as experiments. The power of getting people to think similar things, because then it becomes, this idea then becomes a thought form, becomes real, becomes part of a reality, becomes something to observe. Like that's how it's coded for the hologram to appear the way that it does. That's like what she's telling me. And okay, so and then she says that she became a targeted, what you know as a targeted individual. Okay, and so a targeted individual would be, this is from my knowledge, it would be somebody that the whatever group is out there, that's the best way for me to word it, that has access to weapons of frequency that can get right into your brain, right? They're trying to get a thought out of you or produce a certain thought. They can try to produce a certain emotion or feeling through these weapons. I think they actually can transfer some ideas or thoughts. But I'm getting the feeling that it's like she would have known that they were on the outside of her, that it was interfering. And so I think she got very messed with there in the end. And I think they did things through thought to her to make her appear like she had bipolar disorder or even schizophrenia. You know, some people would say this is not the way Erin usually acts, and this is totally, but that just to me gives more credence to her story, that and it, because she would be a threat, a leader of a big the CEO of a tech company that has a lot of influence and a lot of money. Yeah, it would be significant. So she wasn't really even allowed to say much. And I think that's how she probably died. It was probably interference. But these weapons actually do exist. They have admitted to using certain frequencies and even testing it out on certain people. What can I say? They're not good. It's not good. That's not good. So I got the information that she wanted to talk more about what she knew. And I thought, well, the cards. I have cards, you know. And and then I can see what else she wants to tell me. So, yeah, she was also saying, I'm sorry, it's more information that's coming in. She was also saying that that right now is a good time to look around at all of the chaos that's happening, all the crazy stuff that's happening, because there's a lot of unhinged people in the collective, and there's also a lot of changing of belief systems, and this is a changing of thought. And so this is changing what your thought forms are as a collective. Things are shifting and changing, and it's appearing as if you're jumping timelines all the time as a conscious, but it is a collective conscious that you're a part of. So, okay. So when those things change, the thought forms change, the things that we actually observe to be there or not are all changing. Things might be getting chaotic. You've got a huge collective that's thinking thought forms of the end of the world. That's kind of a big deal because it's a belief and it creates a thought form. So it could be very powerful. So that's why this message is important for people to know, because what you think about is going to happen is probably what's going to happen. That's what she's saying. Okay, well, thank you, Erin, because that's really interesting. So, because how I can tie it in with us here in the collective is that we are trying to consciously manifest and create from our own divine matrix. At least collectively, a lot of us agree there is a different matrix that can be overlaid, or that is stronger, that is more powerful, that is built on love, not experiment. Yeah. So we're changing this energy. We're changing everything. The power in each one of your every single day thoughts is so important that you get hold. That's what she keeps saying to me too, and this is difficult for me. But you have to get a hold on the thoughts. Know where they're coming from. Be able to see a psyop when a psyop is there. Anything that is going to create more hate, more fear, there's usually a group behind that. So spot it. Those things are not good. No matter what the reason being behind spreading any kind of message of hate is, or fear of, especially like different groups, that's not coming from this divine plan. So it will be transformed like Pluto. This is the what you're seeing is the destruction of the ability to hold all of this together like it was in the past when people just believe the whole story. We got them to all agree on the same thing. And then things are working out really well for certain people, though. Some people were so involved in this mirror reflection of this conscious creation that accepting a common belief or shared ideas, thoughts, resulted in something that looked like harmony, but it was not. Planned disguise or controlled disguises peace, suppressed, oppressed, disguised as peace, hushing people up. Especially anybody that thought outside of their box. Especially. Okay, so 10 I have, which is a card about change, and it's about the crystalline attributes that make it, that tin actually has, and it's atomic number 50 when it bends. Like that ability, you know, it's probably due to its crystalline attributes. Also, you can think of something being more porous, in a sense, letting in more light. This might be what is also happening with your bodies when you embody your divine, more and more of your divine light. You become more into this crystalline itself, and you expand. It is reflective. So what the thought forms you're seeing right now are the breaking down of what people are actually thinking every day in their mind. The things that people don't believe in anymore, you're seeing fall. And when the belief's gone, there's no more control for these people who have been manipulating it like it's an experiment, or like it's a game, because it is a game to some. While others are suffering as the NPCs that they don't want to be. So she's saying, like, pointing out the people that are put in these positions where, oh, your role, okay, oh, you're the beggar on the side of the street, just wanting a 40 a beer because for some reason you have all these inherited things, you have all of these situations that just kind of led you to have to end up being in a certain position in life that you don't want to be in. That's called that's what she say, it's called the NPC that I don't want to be. So it's not, meaning it's not a game to the people's views that are in situations they were purposely put in them. Okay, so the knowing of you being this conscious creator that infinitely creates, that is far more powerful than anybody would want you to admit. Like, they don't want you, they want food to get in your way, they want medicine to get in your way, anything to get in the way of your consciousness, being aware of what you're thinking and creating every day. They don't want that, so they'll do anything, even a belief or an idea. If they can get it into your head that you think that you have something that cannot be cured, then guess what? For a lot of people, that cannot be cured. But for others living outside of this, or being able to think outside of this matrix, let's just word it like that. It's not exactly all one and done here. We have like some body parts that look to me like they're still stuck in this matrix, and they're going to be very difficult to pull out. Okay, so you can have a little bit more control through that if you can spot the ways of ideologies passed along to you that limit you, such as pharmaceutical companies getting really on the bandwagon of, oh, this cannot be cured, therefore I've got this thing that they're going to need for life. So if they're controlling the ideology, then they're probably even getting into the books, the actual research on a scientific level, and we don't necessarily know what's all true and what's their experiments, see if it worked for their gain, usually not caring about who got hurt in the process or whose lives are affected. Okay, so you are here for this great work, she's saying. You're here to celebrate the divine soul that is you, right? So, but you're here to create with new energy. There is new energy for you to create with. This is a life force that has been suppressed. She gives the example of Kundalini being an ideology of that's evil. Well, what did that stop people from wanting to do, or from people focusing on? The fact that they could move energy so efficiently throughout their body. And then they create with that energy, right? It's your life force. So that you have this new energy to create with, and that's kind of what I'm getting here. Is that this is kind of, I think it's big. I think it goes deeper. I could pull more, but honestly, I've been in meditation for like 30 minutes before this of just the 963 frequency, so I could channel this energy in, and I'm kind of exhausted already. So I'm going to close this out. But anyway, that's what I've got for you. Bye.